Okay. Hopefully this is working well and you guys are hearing me okay. This is live, but the video will be posted. So for the people who are watching the posted video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel. So it turns out Governor Pritzker is taking things pretty far. He has officially signed an executive order pretty much letting the state of Illinois know we're going to create a commission. We're going to create a database. You guys are going to send in all of your information. We're going to track ICE agents. We're going to see what they're all about. Now, there's a lot of questions here. What are you doing with all this information? You're saying you might want to prosecute them, but how can we trust you? What are you doing with the information? Why do you have all these license plates? So again, if you guys are here live, also make sure to like the video. If you're watching the posted video, make sure to please like, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into it.
Today, I'm signing an executive order creating the Illinois Accountability Commission, a body dedicated to truth, transparency, and justice. The commission will be charged with 3 core missions. 1, creating a public record of the abuses. 2, capturing the impact on families and communities. And 3, recommending actions to prevent further harm and to pursue justice.
So there you go. This is a 3-tiered plan, but the last one, I assume everybody would expect. How do we, go after ICE, basically? And of course, through the judicial system.
The commission will be led by truly an extraordinary group.
And what's going on, everybody, in the live chat? Thank you guys so much.
Of highly qualified leaders who reflect Illinois' deep expertise, integrity, and commitment to justice. With support from the Illinois Department of Human Rights, the Commission will collect testimony, hold hearings, and gather information and firsthand accounts from individuals, community members, subject matter experts, local officials, journalists, faith leaders, and organizations. The commission.
Now, when he says journalist, does that mean like the people we work with, like a Cam Higbee, Katie Davis Court? If they want to go down to Chicago, or a Nick Shirley, are they going to be in that bubble of journalists who are going to report what they're seeing? Or is this all going to be super one-sided? Leave your comments down below or in the live chat what you think the governor means by journalist.
And the records they gather will shine more light on the misconduct of Trump's federal agents. The Trump administration officials have demonstrated on more than one occasion that they are willing to lie to the public and the media to mask their misdeeds. They have already and will continue to cover up abuses of power, cross the legal limits of their authority, and attempt to justify dangerous attacks that threaten our people and our communities. We hope to reveal to the public in Chicago, the state of Illinois, across the nation, and around the world, the facts on the ground about what is happening here. We intend to create.
I am waiting for a specific example. These are all general statements, and I know he's the governor of Illinois, but this is a direct response to Operation Midway Blitz and the possibility of the National Guard coming into Chicago. Let's be honest here, because the mass majority of the footage we're seeing is coming out of Chicago.
Create a detailed record of the truth. And once this all ends, people of good faith will review what this commission has gathered and will demand accountability. Indeed, people are demanding that accountability even now. I'm glad to be joined here by members of the commission who all share a commitment to justice, transparency, and the rule of law. The Honorable Ruben Castillo will serve as chair. He served as a federal judge for the Northern District of Illinois for 25 years and served as the chief judge for 6 of those years. He served multiple terms on the U.S. Sentencing Commission, appointed by President Bill Clinton and then reappointed by President George W. Bush. He is a highly regarded leader who has received numerous law enforcement awards for his previous work in the Special Prosecution Unit of the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Okay.
Patricia Brown Holmes will serve as vice chair. She has experience on the bench and as a state and federal prosecutor, serving as a former associate judge in the Circuit Court of Cook County.
Now, just for everyone's information, we actually have a House Oversight Committee that has to do with Homeland Security. So this is already a thing as far as the taxpayer is concerned, and we want oversight on Homeland Security or federal operations. Again, this seems to be just a direct either attack or some sort of way to stop ICE agents from doing their jobs in Chicago. This seems to be the right-leaning position. Like, why all of a sudden are you guys doing this? And again, it does seem rather one-sided.
An assistant U.S. attorney and assistant...
Is that what he said? We should make a Democrat tracker.
State's attorney. I have also...
I think that's what Facebook is.
...appointed 4 other commissioners, including Aurora Austriaco, commissioner of the Illinois Courts Commission and former commissioner for the Cook County Human Rights Commission. Professor Susan Zesch, former executive director of the Posen Family Center for Human Rights at the University of Chicago. Linda Tortolero, CEO of the Latino Policy Forum. And Cindy Sam, retired Chicago Police Department commander. I want to thank these distinguished volunteer leaders for their time and expertise in this very important cause. It takes a great deal of courage and commitment to serve in this capacity, and I am honored to have them with us in this important endeavor.
I am still waiting for one specific example they can cite where there is validity, that is nonpartisan, where we can all say, yeah, maybe we should look into that. I'm not hearing anything yet.
The federal government has chosen to treat the people of this country as an adversary. It is pushing the boundaries of its authority, terrorizing our communities, and disregarding legal and moral accountability in the process. We will not meet intimidation with fear. We will meet it with truth. We can either let these abuses become our new normal and abandon the rule of law and our democratic values, or we can pursue real justice and accountability and transparency. We can do the work so those who break the law are held to account, so this chaos will stop, and so nothing like it ever happens again. Illinois is choosing our path, and I hope others who believe in the Constitution and the promise of America join us in doing so. The Commission has been tasked with finding opportunities to solicit information and allow the public to share testimony.
So this is the part right here that's very questionable: solicit information and allow the public for their testimony. But again, what about the flip side? Is anybody going to come out and say, like, I feel a lot safer? Maybe you should get some people down in Memphis where they seem to be very okay with what's going on down there.
To that end, I want to encourage all Illinoisans who have witnessed or experienced concerning conduct by federal agents to stay tuned at www.ilac.illinois.gov. I'm going to say that one more time. www.ilac.illinois.gov. Stay tuned there for details in the days and weeks ahead.
Oh, well, I will be tracking that, don't worry. But also we have the lieutenant governor went after Bovino, the guy in charge of Operation Midway Blitz.
Good morning. I want to begin by thanking
the guy who is just doing his job,
Governor Pritzker, for his steadfast leadership during these unprecedented times. There's no better leader to steer Illinois as we navigate this crisis. I'd also like to thank the Honorable Ruben Castillo for meeting the moment and stepping up to chair this commission in the name of pursuing justice, accountability, and transparency. And thank you to all of the distinguished commissioners and other leaders standing with us today. Since the announcement of Operation Midway Blitz, ICE agents have operated in our streets with complete impunity. As a daughter and lifelong resident of the South Side of Chicago, it is hitting close to home. Today, I want to invoke the legacy of one of my sheroes, who once lived blocks from my home in the Bronzeville neighborhood, Ida B. Wells.
Again, I am waiting for just one case that they are going to cite where everybody will say, yeah, we need to look into that. Just one case. I am cool. If there is something that they say where we're like, okay, hold on, this was not right, I think we should look into something. But I am just waiting for one. And if you haven't already, if you guys are in the live chat, I see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to please like the video. And yeah, let's continue.
Barnett. Ida B. Wells was born into slavery and freed 1 year later. She was a trailblazing civil rights activist who, after the Springfield, Illinois race riots of 1908, helped found the NAACP. She was an investigative journalist who was committed to exposing the scourge of lynchings in the Jim Crow South. See, Miss Ida understood that what's done in the dark under the cover of night had to be exposed if there was ever to be real change. What I'm saying is that at our very core in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois is the strong, fearless, and courageous spirit of Ida B. Wells, who said these words: "The only way to right wrongs is to shine the light of truth upon them." So today, in Illinois, we are shining the light of truth on the harmful and unconstitutional acts of Donald Trump, his administration.
By the way, I don't think anyone would agree with that. I think every conservative who's a journalist or right-leaning, I think everyone would agree that's the job of a journalist, to share the light, show everybody what's going on. I think it's safe to say where the disagreement is that when others with opposing views come on to shed the light, there seems to be pushback. So I don't think anyone disagrees with what she said. It's the part right here I think most people disagree with.
And those who choose to remain silent in the wake of his power grab. The Illinois Accountability Commission will shine the light of truth upon how Donald Trump has weaponized ICE against our communities. We are shining the light of truth upon these masked agents who are terrorizing our neighbors. We are shining the light of truth on what we saw just last week on the southeast side of Chicago, where ICE agents threw cans of tear gas into crowds of peaceful protesters, firing pepper pellets and rubber bullets, targeting people who were simply holding signs and speaking out.
Now, here's the thing. Here is the one case she's talking about, but the issue is, and I follow Chicago very closely, that happened several times last week, so I don't know if she's talking about the No Kings protest, where the Illinois State Police, those were the ones who pushed everybody back. Or is she talking about another instance, because this happened like 3 times last week, where the Border Patrol and ICE agents were like literally surrounded. So I don't know which case she's talking about. But if she's talking about holding signs, I would assume that's the No Kings. But the people who were pushing back at No Kings, that was the Illinois State Police and the sheriffs and local police.
We are shining the light of truth on Gregory Bovino, Trump's chief architect of this assault on our city, who has openly admitted to targeting people for just how they look, who yesterday led ICE raids in Little Village, causing crashes, patrolling with assault rifles, and detaining 2 of Alderman Mike Rodriguez's staffers, who were both U.S. citizens. And yes, we are shining a light on the death of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, a father of 2 young children, who returned to Mexico in a wooden box after being shot and killed by ICE agents. It's shameful. This is not law enforcement. This is not public safety. This is state-sanctioned cruelty without accountability. And the state of Illinois will not let this continue in darkness.
Here's the thing. Tom Homan is like the first person to say, we want to work with the local police. And ever since the 911 calls got exposed that the local police are not responding to a call or showed up really late, I think there's just a lot of no trust between the federal government and the Chicago police officers, who you would expect to be working with, at the very least, some sort of crowd control or an investigative element.
Like Ida B. Wells implored us to do, we will shine a light on all of these wrongs. By the way, there's one more truth that I'm convinced will come out through the work of this commission, and that is the truth that there are far too many who continue to remain silent as they see our very democracy being dismantled piece by piece. Those who are watching the destruction happening in this country and not finding one...
Okay, so that's that. Now, I talked about this. Oh, well, here's Tom Homan. So, Tom Homan, I found this video. He's talking about the members of Congress who want to pretty much do the same thing. Create this ICE tracking database where on the federal level, you can submit things that you've seen about ICE. So, here's Tom Homan reacting to that.
Laura, they're all over this. They're all over this. Now they're looking at, impediment charges, looking at who's funding this stuff, right? Because I'm telling you, it's a matter of time. And I hate saying this, but I'm going to say it because I truly believe it's a matter of time before an ICE agent's ambushed and killed. Because
I agree.
We're letting people know where enforcement activities are occurring. And they're looking for the worst of the worst. The last thing we want to do is give a bad guy, the worst of the worst, a heads up that ICE is down the street. This is going to get an officer killed. I go to bed every night, and I pray for every man and woman of ICE and Border Patrol to go home safe to their families. I buried too many ICE agents in my career and Border Patrol agents. This has to stop. So Pam Bonnie's all over this. I know DOJ's all over this. We'll hold people accountable. This cannot happen. It's disgusting.
And again, this is on the federal level. So if on the federal level, this is being questioned by the DOJ, I think it's pretty safe to say on the state level, this is already being questioned by the DOJ. And we know that Illinois or Chicago sanctuary status is being looked into and sued by the Trump administration.
I can't believe what's going on in this nation today. I wake up every morning in disbelief that people want to call the law enforcement officers the bad guys and the criminal public safety threats the victims. It's ridiculous. It's all upside down. But we're going to keep doing this job and keep President Trump's promise to American people.
Yeah, one thing's for sure. The more that there's pushback on ICE or Tom Homan, more agents flood the area. And this is something that I found today. Again, I made a video not too long ago talking about this. I am really curious how you guys feel about this. I mean, I don't know the legality of this either. Again, it's within the same bubble of tracking information or gathering information, specifically in Illinois.
You may have seen this video recently on social media. It shows an ICE agent confronting someone filming a vehicle and saying,
you can record all you want.
I am.
Change plates out every day.
well, I have a big problem with that. You see, swapping out Illinois license plates on Illinois registered vehicles is illegal. And as Secretary of State, I have zero tolerance for this type of illegal activity. We are investigating these allegations as we speak, and I'm asking for your help. Today, we're announcing a special Plate Watch hotline for people to report this type of illegal activity.
So when I talked about this a few hours ago, I said, look, there's already lawmakers in Illinois, state lawmakers, who post this information on Facebook, where pretty much you have a public database anyone can see when it comes to this. Now, the problem I see with all of this is that he's talking, again, about a state-level law trying to enforce federal agents.
You can call 312-814-1730 or email platewatch@ilsos.gov. Flipping license plates or altering them in any way to avoid detection is strictly prohibited in Illinois.
I think that's illegal in every state, but again, when we talk about the context of undercover investigations, obviously on the federal level, there seems to be a bit of a difference here, or understanding that if you're undercover, you can probably do something like that.
Penalties include fines and potential jail time. Our office also has the authority to suspend or revoke the vehicle's license plates. And no one, including a federal agent, is above the law.
I agree.
If you see this occurring anywhere, call or email our hotline so that we can keep our communities safe.
Okay, so again, leave your comments down below how you feel about that, or in the live chat. Yeah, that's pretty much all we have. So we are still waiting on the exact details as to what the commission is going to do or not do. I think they know they have to be very careful how they operate, because obviously you can break some laws here if you're gathering data. And what if there's a data leak and be like, oh, oops, sorry. But the purpose of the commission is to create a public record of the conduct of federal agents. And again, we already have this within the federal level. It's called an oversight committee. During Operation Midway Blitz and the Trump administration's military-style operations throughout Chicagoland area, examine the impact of that conduct on individuals and communities. Consider policy recommendations to prevent future harm to these individuals and communities. Now, again, I do want to point out a lot of the arrest and pushback is actually coming from the state of Illinois themselves. So this investigation, if they're honest, I think they might open up a door here that they might have not wanted people to see. If they're going to shift all the blame to the Trump administration, the real question is over at the Broadview ICE facility, that's not ICE doing those operations anymore, defending the building. That's mainly the local police, or at least the state police. So I don't know how this is going to work. But yeah, I will definitely keep you guys updated. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. I just wanted to do this live, have a little bit of an interaction. Now I'm going to post the video, so if I didn't see your comments here, leave your comments on the posted video. Make sure to please like the video, subscribe, get the word out that this is happening. I don't think people realize how big of a deal this really is. So wow. Yeah, Insurrection Act, that might be the next thing. So thank you guys so much for being here. I love you guys so much. Make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you for everything, and we will see you later. See you guys.